Hello, my name is George, and I need to press this button here. It'll transition us to a totally black screen. There's another button I gotta press, that I think is it this one? No, I want to be doing a window capture, game capture. So, to complete us, there we go. Yeah, alright, there's our black screen. It's not cropped correctly. We need some more. Yeah, there it is! 1982, Sinclair Research, limited? Oh right, that means they have limited liability. You can't sue them for unlimited reasons. Hello, I'm gonna take you for a ride. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Bunny Hop Super Sad Poverty streams, where I need money and also need to consolidate the research I need to be doing for an upcoming video into the streams that I sometimes do for fun. So in order to square that circle and navigate that conundrum, I am going to play fun video games that are relevant to projects I'm doing about weirdo gaming in weird Eastern European territories, where the ZX Spectrum, which was the premier gaming experience for Britain, and thus most of Europe, but not all. And the minutiae gets relatively complicated. I'm adjusting the exposure level of my camera, so white overexposed ghost. Oh, I got that. I don't know what gambling ads you guys are talking about. I have some extremely basic web software plugins installed that keep some of that stuff off of my off of my browsers. I'm very tired. I've had a very busy week, and I still did not get everything I wanted to get done this week, and I have an extremely busy weekend ahead of me, where I'm going to have to wake up early in the morning tomorrow to go see Mom again. 4 hours away, 500 miles. And I'm not looking forward to any of that. After this stream, I'm going to be doing more work. I might actually end up watching a documentary and taking notes in the second half of that stream, depending on how the games go. But until then, we are going to try to play a bit more and understand a bit more of the 1984 Ultimate Play the Game software experience, Sabre Wulf. I don't think the sound's loud enough. Hang on a second. There we go. Ah, jeez. Okay, that was a bit too much for a second there. Alright, so Sabre Wulf is a game that I had to create a Joy2Key custom profile around. There was some debate in the chat over whether or not the default keyboard controls are the official way to play the game. Oh, right. So, Sabre Wulf World of Spectrum. There's a fan site that has a lot of old game documentation stashed away, and sometimes, probably most of the time, but not for the more popular games, like fucking Jetpack for some reason, you'll find dumps of the games themselves that you can plug into an emulator. So, these are 80s games, which meant that you were supposed to use a manual. Because the game software, there it is, there we go. The game software would not have enough memory on the storage medium to include in-game tutorials and control instructions. So, check out these default controls and the ensuing debate that occurred in this Twitch chat game channel. Thank you. Had a good SGF, got some new contacts and leads. Thank you for the $3 token, Flip Guy. I'm glad you had a good SGF and that you got some new contacts and leads. What's SGF? Summer Games Fest. That must be what it corresponds to. Take a look at these default controls, and then take a look at the keyboard on your device, whether or not you're using a desktop or a smartphone, I guess. It's going to have the QWERTY layout if you're in an English-speaking country. And Britain certainly was. But the ZX Spectrum keyboard was slightly different than most modern keyboards in terms of layout. They didn't have arrow keys, but most of the letters were there in the typewriter inherited QWERTY design layout that they got from typewriters before. But how the hell were you actually supposed to play the game like this? How the hell did the developers make the game for tens, if not hundreds of hours behind the scenes using these very same controls? Because they would have had to make sure that, like, the character is at least controllable. The assumption is that you are supposed to play with the joystick. I will not fight with that. But there was a theory going around the Twitch chat last week that but the trouble I was having controlling the character with these controls is the same experience that gamers without a joystick and forced to play it on a keyboard would have had 30 years ago, or 40 years ago actually. Let's see. 97, 07, 17, 27. Oh, this game's almost 40 years old. This game's almost over the hill. So 40 years ago, a joystick attachment to your ZX Spectrum TV computer would not have been mandatory or standard, but fairly common. It would have been a reasonable expectation that maybe at least, at the bare minimum, 25% of the customers would have had joysticks. The reality might have been something maybe even higher, like 33%. But, like, I can't imagine an optional peripheral like that being thought of as, like, those numbers I came up with would not have made it a majority. I remember seeing a lot of joysticks packed with computers back then, but not a majority, not every single one. The keyboard controls, I would assume, would be what they would want for the majority, but they're fucking awful. Q is left and W is right. It's kind of weird, but there's some logic there with Q being to the left of right. But what really trips me up is that down is E and up is R. And usually in the hierarchy of human directional linguistic assumptions, when you're poetically streaming your stream of consciousness out loud and thinking of directions and orientations, higher things tend to come before lower things, but on your keyboard, the down comes before the up. And also the directions are placed to the left and right of each other instead of towards the up and down of each other. And I never got used to it. And it felt very, very bad because I could see a fully complete game that's actually kind of interesting. It's a Zelda-style top-down adventure that is... What's interesting here is that this documentation I have on screen is about the most that you got with this game. With older games in the 80s, sometimes the manuals would get very, very complicated. But these pre-rare super ultimate play the game games are more simple arcade affairs. But even then, the documentation here is slim. So this is a game that I would want to compare with Zelda in the sense that there's some complexities and objects that have special functions and enemies that don't react like other enemies and require special solutions. But you got to figure it out yourself. It was deliberately designed for the cryptic environment and the cryptic expectations that usually give you more documentation. This is like Dark Souls design we're going to see here. You are supposed to fail and retry a bunch of times and figure out trial and error. That is how it was meant to be designed. I do have questions about whether or not these controls by default are how it's designed. So instead we're using Joy 2 key to mitigate the damage. I'm sliding some windows around so that I can see chat at the same time. So 10 Elements has a theory here. Reading those and attempting, I'm placing my left fingers over Q, W, and R, and my right hand index. Doesn't feel great. Unless you do Q, W on left and E, R, T on right. Yeah, T is the sword. So you would have to cram your two little your hands with fingers onto really weird spots on the keyboard that don't correspond with the directions that you're going. The dominant theory last week was that maybe at some point in the dev cycle they were going to change it, and that for the dev cycle, they, when developing it, were primarily playing with the joystick, and they just didn't have time to change the controls and ship it. There was no such thing as online patches, so they just had to eat the losses. Permanent. Like playing as player 2 on a keyboard in Mortal Kombat or other ports of old fighting games in DOS. Even those worked better! Okay, old fighting games in DOS, I don't know, but I had a pretty decent port of Mortal Kombat Trilogy on Windows 95 when I was a kid that I would play with some other kids on keyboard. And it would be like one kid on the keyboard would use fucking WSAD, the other kid on the keyboard would use arrow keys with some numpad buttons. But they correspond with the directions you move your character in. I consider the British 8-bit scene to be the first indie game scene. Well, you gotta hop on one must fall for 2080s. There's Remnant Cult. There is a remarkably interesting history that you're digging into here, and whether or not the word indie means what you want it to mean in the certain stance. Because what I have had my perception shattered by is a book about the Czechoslovakian gaming scene in the 80s on the 8-bit computers, where the games were made with no presumption whatsoever of them ever making money off of it, and so they would include serious political statements and have games be about artsy-fartsy political issues. What's that book called? Gaming the Iron Curtain, How Teenagers and Something or Other Claim the Mediums of Video Games by Jaroslav Svelch. I think it was published in 2018. It's an MIT Press book. I got a hold of it and read through it. And enjoyed it and loved it and want to promote it more. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you're thinking of indie as like a non-profit motivated, artistic, and politically conscious work, we might have had that actually happen for the first time in Eastern Europe instead. Because while I am aware that a lot of ZX Spectrum games would have been made by one developer, and have a certain aesthetic of scrappiness to it, of do-it-yourself electronic tinkering, I don't know if the punk rockiness of the indie aesthetic that we associate the word with nowadays is there. And I've gotten into big arguments with my former co-host game developer friend in Japan, who's rubbed shoulders with all the giants over there, Liam Edwards, who was like telling me and trying very hard to convince me that indie does refer to the punk rock aesthetic more than it refers to the funding modeling, which I still want to stick by as a journalist who has to like be very conscious of the technical definitions of the word and how most of the time they're going to be, the definition I'm going to settle on is going to have more to do with the etymology of the word indie, meaning a shorthand for independent, rather than being an association with the punk rock aesthetics. Yeah, if it's independently funded to make money, then that might have happened in Britain first. But if it's the game vision of punk rock, then that might have happened in Eastern Europe a few years later instead. Awesome to see some Spectrum games. Yeah, we should get to it. How long have I been chattering here? I've been chattering here for about 15 minutes. Let's see what Sabre Wulf is like. So for explanation, these default keyboard controls are going to get mapped onto an Xbox controller through Joy2 key, which means I'm not pressing the joystick button in the menu selection here. What was it? 0? Yeah, 0 start game. How in the world a two-player game works in this situation? I have no idea. We won't even try. But the controls don't have to be complicated. It's just directions. Whoa! Oh, that's the fast forward button. I think I gotta close Steam. Yeah, I gotta close Steam. Steam also screws my gaming up, which is not what you want Steam to do, right? So I accidentally had Steam turned on, which binds like page up or page down to the B button. Look at this. Look at this. I'm swatting away animals with the saber. You can... Oh, okay, so something there worked different than the others. A multicolored glowing fireball apparently is not swat-awayable with the sword like some of the other animals. I think I saw a similar sprite, but with different colors. The colors mean something. Ow! I want to point out that even though this does remind me of Zelda, you get spawn camped as soon as you spawn in. Okay. You get spawn he turned purple. I'm trying to think of a politically correct word to describe that enemy type who just came at me. Okay, what does purple mean? Okay, I don't want to get to that. Ah! Okay, if a multicolored blob of lines comes at me, then I guess that means fire. Ah! Okay. I got spawn camped. This happened in Jetpack. It's like Zelda because it's a top-down adventure that has a sort of persistence. It's like Zelda because it's a top-down adventure that you go from screen to screen and every little screen has its own personality and puzzle. And you have to try to persistently memorize in your head how a map of a place works. A notepad would be useful, actually. Okay, that is fire. But sometimes it's hard just deciphering the sprite art and dealing with the spawn camping going on where things spawn right on top of you. So that's fire. Wah! Didn't even see it coming. It makes a special noise, and if I really want to know what I'm doing here, I need to shut up and stop talking, but it's very, very tempting, because this is going very, very fast. It took me forever to realize that you could swat the saber around and move at the same time. But you want to keep moving, in case you get spawn camped. So sitting around talking, trying to think of the next politically correct term for some offensively British indigenous stereotypes here. How am I going to get through? How am I going to get through? I don't know. Let's try again. Reload the room. Maybe I should just take the... Oh! Okay. So if I walk into a red plant, it turns me invincible for a little while, and I'm unable to attack, but it doesn't matter, because I can walk past all the stuff trying to kill me. Ow! I want that dick butt. What does the dick butt do? I don't know. Should I be writing this down? The game... I'm red! Okay. I'm red. Gotta cover as much ground as possible before the red wears off. You are supposed to be using a notepad. On the World of Spectrum fan site, there included documentation, strategy... Jesus Christ. Okay, but see, look how this looks like a Zelda room. This was made in 1987. Zelda was massively popular as soon as it hit. So we can assume that they were aware of Zelda to some extent. Okay. No, shit. We can still save it. We can't be ass, but this is a ZX Spectrum game, so we can be arse. Good. Woo! Not anywhere on there, am I? There's 6 places. Interesting. Okay, for one of these rounds, I should absolutely just shut up and concentrate. But thoughts I want to get out before I shut up and concentrate for the next run is that one of these games we played so far has been charmingly British. It was Jet Set Willy. It was about a rich man who wakes up with a hangover in his crazy mansion and has to do precision platform puzzling to be let back in his bedroom by his Italian housemaid, and at some part a French chef appears. The levels were humorously designed to look like real domestic, relatable environments like bathrooms and bedrooms and dining rooms with mysterious, funny comedy secrets to uncover in the basement rooms. That was charmingly British. This one is offensively British. I don't know, like one of the enemies is this Zulu war. You're a pith helmet guy exploring the tropics of the jungle and the outer regions of the glorious empire, I guess. And one of the enemies is this like Zulu warrior guy who comes charging at me. What should I call him? I don't want to call him a savage, but I feel like that might be what the documentation could possibly refer to. I don't want to call him the Zulu guy. Should I call him the native guy? Even that, like, feels a little weird. And one thing I want to point out is that we might be steering into a more civilized, respectable time here in the 80s, because when you do swing your sword, it whatever that enemy type is going to be called, we'll call him the native warrior. Whenever you swing your sword at the native warrior, it doesn't kill them; they just run away. But you do kill their animals and steal their treasure, which is still not very cool. Call him the indigenous. I'll call him the indigenous peoples of the global south. Oh, that might be even worse. Hey, it's a red flower. Oh, okay. So, but it's not a bad game. Underneath all of that, like there is a decent-ish Zelda adventure here. Ow! Okay, the indigenous peoples of the global south immediately attacked me as soon as I spawned into that room. That was not cool. And how the rules work with the rhinos is also kind of weird, but I think as soon as I see a flower bloom, I should dash towards it. I've died and retried and learned through trial and error so many times now. Oh, let me get it. No! That I think I have learned a certain rule or strategy of the game. And that is that as soon as you see these flowers, you rush at it. You want to steer clear from the enemy spawns. There we go! Okay, I got the red flower again. That means I can walk past the rhinoceros blocking the way here, because this is like a Zelda game where you gotta remember the little puzzle that happens in every room. Another flower bloom in here. Oh my god, were those enemies like combining with the... Ow! Well, I guess I'll never find out what that purple does. Wait, no, I should actually... Ow! How do you attack up above? I can see clearly left and right, but I can't really see clearly up and... Ah, fire! Ah, fire! I'm waiting for the flower to respawn. Okay. Alright, now I'm purple. My controls have reversed, but I am invincible. That's a decent deal. Yeah, I'll accept those terms. Okay, I managed to clear a few more screens of puzzle, platforming, enemy territory. Another flower is going to bloom here, and I kind of want to be focusing on these flowers, actually. I'm making a lot more progress when I've huffed up a flower and have some kind of invincibility bonus going on. Okay, that was a white flower. That turned me white. Did that do... Oh, I'm just realizing how that sounded. Is there anything special about being white in this game? That's just the normal thing that you spawn as. Oh, no flower this time. What determines whether or not... Oh, God. Whether or not the flower spawns in. Okay, well, I've learned one lesson over so many plays, and that is that if I'm having a bad run, I might as well just get myself killed and start over. Which we'll be doing here. Oh yeah, attack. I gotta try that one out sometime. That's also a ultimate play the game, right? I feel like, Jesus Christ, I gotta get out of here! This is so difficult. I absolutely love how the fire does... God! What was I supposed to do? I guess go the other way and not try to go that way because it's a dead end anyway. Okay, maybe the white flower is a red herring. Maybe the flowers randomly spawn a color and you want to handle the random aspect of that in a way where you're going to strategically not go after the white! No, wrong color flower. I can't get past the sleeping rhinoceros without unless I huff the fumes from a red flower first. Ah, jeez. So, I'm pink. I'm fast. So the pink flowers make you fast and invincible. The purple flowers make your controls get reversed and invincible. Maybe you need some kind of, pickup item. Oh god, oh god. 1 piece is all that you have found. Collect 3 more and outward bound. Okay. Wow, that's cool. We just got some kind of, objective. There is an actual goal to keep in mind other than merely survive in this... Oh, it just went away in less than 2 seconds. In this ridiculously fast-moving jungle hell. Yes, thank you. Does red slow you down? Because I kind of like it when my character's a little bit slower. I just saw a new path up there that I haven't taken before. Oh, wow. I just saw a new path up there I haven't taken before, and I just killed 2 enemies as soon as they spawned in with some cool-looking sword moves that I did not plan out at all. So you kind of hold the sword button down and cautiously step your way around. Ah! But you can get ambushed so fast that it feels like... Oh, no! The controls are so laggy, I can't even type in ass correctly. That's the second time this has happened, and this time I actually made it somewhere on the scoreboard. Okay, but I'm intrigued. I'm very, very curious to make back the lost progress I just did, and kind of Come on, walk into the sword. No, oh! Oh my god. Why do I care so much about getting the flower in this first room? This first room is just to torture you, isn't it? This is like, I'm realizing I've covered enough ground in the game so far to judge that of all the areas in the opening part of the game here I've seen, that has got to be one of the hardest by an actually pretty wide margin. They spawn you in one of the most unforgivably... We're just gonna die and retry. We're just gonna die and retry. They spawn you into one of the most unforgivably difficult rooms in the opening areas of the game in the very beginning, before you have figured out the controls. And, learning that the lightweight documentation... Uh-oh. What did that do? Did it make me vulnerable to attack, or did it make the enemies ignore me? I couldn't really tell whether or not I got lucky. I didn't get lucky because I still died less than 1 second afterwards. The whole idea of needing to comb the map for more strategic, objective-driven goals that sometimes... Oh, good, there's no rhinoceros this time for absolutely no logical reason whatsoever! Even when things don't go your way, there's no reason to celebrate, because you're just going to get your ass kicked as soon as you go into the next screen. No, come back! Kick my ass! There you go, thank you. Oh, did they actually save his position persistently across both screens, that indigenous global peoples of... Gah! Okay, no, let's just restart. In the first room, I'm tempted to get the treasure, but I should not be tempted enough. Okay, they save the man's spot, but I don't think they save the animal's spot when you change screens. No treasure, let's just get out of here. Yeah, bye, see you later, fuckers. I'm not staying in that room anymore. Okay, now how to get past the rhino has been tricky, but I get... Ugh! The rhino... Okay. Okay, it makes you... See, I was just saying that even when you get a lucky break and realize how something works, like whatever dopamine high you get from that is immediately... Ugh. You just get immediately shat on as soon as something cool happens. This is like Jetpack, but the more I play, I don't know, I'm trying to give it a chance. But it's moving way too fast. Something's gonna spawn. Yep. Ugh. The puzzle piece was not there. So I think there's some kind of randomizer kicking in that's making the treasure spawn at different places. There is treasure here, so I'm tempted to stay in the first room more than I should. Let's get out. Okay. Ah! There's a bit of input lag sometimes. And, how well your character is tracked along the y-axis is never... how well your attacks track on the y-axis is never reliable in the first. But I did learn a few runs ago that I am actually better off waiting... Yeah, look at that! Waiting for flowers to spawn and then exploiting temporary invisibility. It almost seems like these little flower spawns, I should think of them as home bases. So I am invincible while oh my god! As I... something cool out. I get shot all over less than a second later. It's fire, you can't attack fire. Oh, I'm trying to... flower. You. Ah! I pressed the attack button, but you can't attack while purple. And I pressed the attack button at like the real-time moment I should have, but it takes a second for like the Dark Souls of ZX Spectrum games. There's a bit of input lag that you need to be incorporating into your movement for strategy. Sometimes it's hard... okay. Hard to tell whether that's fire or just a huge mess of enemies all hanging around the spot. I'm also very... oh, my controls were reversed and then changed to normal very quickly. I feel like I'm kind of lost. Oh, this is probably the most ground I think covered. What's the wolf do? What the fuck? I tried to go up and couldn't go up. And then I tried to go right and my character went up instead. So I thought I saw a wolf around here earlier. This is... I'm very, very lost. Need to be making a map. Go up! Go up! Okay. Ugh, God. 13%! Alright. I'm not on the scoreboard? I wanted to type ass. Okay, let me go for that. Oh, I don't want to commit to the run if I'm just gonna die in the first room. But okay, even if there's treasure in the first room, it's not worth it. That first room is so much ridiculously harder, and there's gonna be more treasure in other rooms. God! I can't go up here! I gotta go 1 pixel to the right. Now I can go up. But we're just gonna die and retry because I very stupidly decided to go after the treasure in the first room that you spawn in, and that's not what... Those plants go away so fast that it seems like I'm not gonna get them unless I camp out around them. And it just seems like the stuff I'm supposed to do is so counterintuitive. Not going after the treasure, nope. Okay, there's a different treasure. Oh god, I'm being surrounded. No! How? How? How do you play this game? How do you beat this game? How do you learn this game? God damn. I can't keep doing this. Like, I can't... But what I hate the most is that, like, I don't know what to think about it. Because it seems like there's interesting mechanics and logic, and maybe even an interesting world layout. but like the way it feels, what happens in the milliseconds of frame time, what happens when you compress the experience down to the utterly minimal layer of time units possible on a frame by frame basis feels bad. Because whether or not your character goes in the direction you want to within the one frame of time that you have to react is an extremely important thing to be weighing for how fast. Yeah, it feels like I'm playing a DOSBox game with the CPU clock speed set to too high, but this is not. This is, if you look up YouTube footage of this game playing on the original hardware, I don't think this is off of the norm. Sabre Wulf, ZX Spectrum. Alright, if you know what you're doing, you can apparently play through this game in 20 minutes. Which is still fairly normal for the era. Okay, so let's see what it looks like when a Sabre Wulf expert is playing. Okay, we're gonna skip the song. What? How is he doing? How did he blast through those guys? But you can see the speed is not... The frame rate's about half of what we're looking at. But you can see that when you get good at this, you're zooming through this bullshit about as fast as the enemies are zooming through me earlier. Okay, is there like an invincibility cheat he turned on or something? Red orchids make you invulnerable but slow. Blue makes you invulnerable and fast. Purple reverses the directions of the controls but also invulnerable. Yellow makes you sick but invulnerable. And white changes you back to normal. Sabermen can also collect treasure and extra lives that are scattered throughout the maze. But I feel like we're seeing some cheating. I don't know how he's running through the enemies and making them explode on contact by touching him unless something like that was going on. Is this one of those games where, like, it's borderline impossible to play unless you cheat? So they were trying to sell strategy guides and stuff? With the ZX Spectrum, they were called pokes. You didn't put in a cheat code, you put in a poke code that manipulated the system's RAM. So the word poke meaning less imagined geographic distance between your keystrokes and the electricity of the hardware itself. Okay, well, a long play we found on YouTube that I hope would explain some things had a little bit of language in the description about what the different orchids do, flowers, and I think we did figure that out by trial and error, but one thing we're not figuring out by trial and error very elegantly is how to fucking survive on an extremely basic level here. The enemies are just speeding after us with oh god. I cannot go north. Let's hang out down here. I was going after the flower, but it was guarded by an enemy. But the flower is how I would have gotten out of that situation with the... invincibility. Okay, are those enemies in the north still there? I've died like 3 times down here. Nope. They went away. Okay, so long as you line up with the enemies on the x-axis, you can hold that attack button down and blast through them. I was not seeing him swing his saber in the long play to fight the enemies, and that's what was making me think he had some kind of cheat mode on. But you can see when I do kind of know... Fuck! Get away! Get away! Get away! No, 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 go up! Go up, you fucking asshole! Jesus! Holy shit! So the little tunnels going north to... Ah! Cannot explain it faster than they attack me. Purple, purple, no. The little tunnels are just narrow enough that if you rush towards them trying to get out, you're not going to get out. You're not going to be skinny enough. I'm just trying to get myself killed at this point and start the run over again. Okay, okay. Let me not talk. Let me concentrate. No! Unpredictable fire spawned right on top of me. How even does that make sense? Like what should I be visualizing in my mind's eye for when fire spawns on top of me out of nowhere? For when I spontaneously... I'm visualizing spontaneous combustion then. Okay, and another thing, like sometimes I'm pressing buttons and my character goes in the opposite way. If it's an emergency and I'm getting attacked from multiple angles and need to turn around suddenly. When I'm controlling my character and everything's safe, he goes in most of the ways I want to most of the time. But when I need finesse, when the situation... Come on! Come on! Ah! When the Go! When the situation requires finesse, something in the systems here fights me over it. What? Jesus. Okay. Here's something that might be going on here. Because this fire thing is outrageous. Is there some kind of copy protection going on? Like, the monsters in Serious Sam 3, the pink scorpion that would spawn in and kick your ass. It kind of feels like that. Like the fire spawns in and kicks my ass in a way that makes this so much frustrating to play that does not feel right. I'm trying to go up. I can't go up. You gotta be pixel perfect from the bottom to go up. No! Alright, we're dying and restarting and retrying. No, I don't want to be invincible right now. I want to die. Just want to die and retry right now. Another thing that's keeping me going through this fucking misery is that this is the closest we're getting to my favorite ZX Spectrum game, which is Jetpack. Ah! We're gonna die and retry. Getting kind of dizzy. Ah! If you get attacked from north or south, what do you do? You can only swing east and west. That was a white flower. Why did I buy? That was fire! It was hard to tell because there were so many sprites in one place, and plenty of those sprites are killable, but the fire isn't. The fire is just like lines. Like the enemies might as well have stink lines or shimmering lines. Like, instead of a separate enemy sprite, it looks like an accent effect. Oh, I'm vulnerable. I'm invulnerable. That's the opposite of vulnerable. Ah, fuck! Oh, wrong way. No! My controls reversed suddenly. I did. Oh, you can attack from north to south just fine, but I can't. Ah! Ah! I'm reading a guide. There's something wrong. I think there is something technically wrong, and I think I've tried so very hard to figure out how to play this game, and now the big roadblock is not like understanding the fundamentals or getting the controls set up. It's that the game seems like it wants to punish me for being a pirate. Sabre Wulf, Wikipedia. Now, is anything going to be mentioned here about copyright protection? One of the things that kept me going is the sentences up here that sound like you don't receive explicit guidance and you're left to decipher the game's objective through trial and error. Like, cool, I can tolerate that. I can handle a bit of trial and error now and then. You guys have seen how much I love whipping out the notebooks, playing the old school Metal Gears. I love Dark Souls as much as everyone else. Cryptic game design with trial and error, whether it's classic or modern, I'm able to handle most of it. And that's another thing that like blows my mind here is that if that is the case, then you can learn the map and learn the flower effects and learn the enemy AI behaviors at a pretty smooth pace where like every time you die, you at least die learning something that you get to employ next time that makes your next run so much longer, and then you cover so much more distance, and then find the little artifact puzzle piece that begs you to find more, collect 4, and you'll get out of here, right? But all of that seems immediately counteracted by fire spawning on you, or fire spawning as soon as you enter the next screen. Above average price tag to combat piracy. Okay. I don't understand. I don't think that logic is very, very sound, but we did at least see piracy mentioned. They finished sequels? What? Sequels were swiftly released later that year. Oh, the best maze game? That's what you could call these things back then? Okay, difficult gameplay has been acknowledged. But this is on a whole new level. This was nothing like Jetpack. Enemies that spawn in random on-screen locations. Okay, when the player idles too long in the same room, an indestructible bushfire appears to pursue Saberman. Now, this might be what's happening here. When the player idles too long, I'm seeing that bushfire appear after like 2 seconds. Sometimes it appears in an initial wave of enemies. It has nothing to do with idling. Oh, it says they bloom for only a few seconds. Sure, but what I feel like I'm seeing 1 second. I feel like I have 1 second to grab that flower, and that means that the whole strategy revolves around camping the flower spots, which might actually be my problem here. If the problem is that you idle too long in a screen and that triggers a bushfire, then that does seem to serve as it might be a naturally designed counter to the idea of sitting around the flower spots waiting for them to spawn in. Now, these extra lives, I've not been able to really keep an eye on my eye counter for how much other crazy shit is going on the screen. They expected legal protectors to be more protective over letting friends copy the more expensive games. Yeah, like I'm seeing the stuff that got it praised. I can recognize that it's there, and that makes it so much more tempting to fight through this bullshit and get there. But I feel like there's something wrong with the software, the technology, or the emulator or something. It is recommended that you draw a map as you go through. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Um Modern reviewers from 2007 onwards are going to complain about collision detection. I've felt it, but that's not the game-breaking thing here. The game-breaking thing I'm seeing is just how ridiculously fast those bushfires are spawning in for me, and how they're spawning in on my very spot I'm sitting at. Let's see what happens when you Google search for Sabre Wulf tutorial. Oh, a Killer Instinct character, apparently. Ah. Sabre Wulf ZX Spectrum Game Facts? Yeah, okay. Oh, look at this. This is what the hell? What the hell? The ZX Specky claim this port. Let's maybe there's another one that has guides. Game Boy version, the mobile version has guides. So the ZX Spectrum was not a like niche, obscure, small audience machine. There's freaking 17,000 games made for this. There should be something on GameFAQs about one of the more popular of them, right? Can I get like a Sabre Wulf strategy guide? I can I get like an explanation from a Sabre Wulf fan about how to play and how to enjoy one of the more popular games? Hmm. Okay, on this run he takes the red flower and then changes to purple, not bothering to fight any of the enemies. This is that late game Morrowind playstyle. Okay, now that he's white, he is bothering. He is doing a similar thing I was doing, where you hang out at the edges of the to have some mere seconds of thinking time. It seems like things are going smoother, and you really got to exploit flower visibility effects. He was able to attack an enemy to the south and north. Gotta figure out how that works. It might have something to do with the timing of his swinging animation. The map looks... Yeah, let's take a peek. Oh, wait, I accidentally got off the screen. Look at this. Look at this. Where's our starting point? Who's this guy in the middle of the maze with the face? Who's that? Oh, there's our start. Yeah, I figured that might be like a final boss or something right on top of you. That seems ironic. But one thing that I think I've noticed across multiple playthroughs, no one who knows how to play this game spends any time at all in the starting room. I think that might be a failure of the game designer. As soon as you begin the game, you just get your ass kicked. And it looks like it takes hours to understand what's going on, and that you can waste hours in that starting zone thinking that it's more of a tutorial than it really is. It seems like they just want you to run the fuck away as soon as you begin. Our story, like an ancient Greek epic, it begins in media res. Run away from your character immediately coming under attack as soon as you begin. It's not really a tutorial. You're not going to gain anything. You're just going to get your ass kicked if you stick around there. In one of the two videos, it seemed like the game was moving slower than what I'm getting here, but in the other of the two videos, it seemed like things were going at the same speed they're going here. So I still don't really know whether or not I'm playing a correctly working version of the game. Wish I could have seen the ZX Spectrum back on their prime. I think that's the indigenous member of the Global South spawn point. Maybe. Who knows? Are we... Yeah, we are. Why are we getting no audio? I think I accidentally turned it off for YouTube purposes. But okay, I already screwed up by moving in a different direction than up. Because that means when I'm trying to squeeze into the corridor going north, I'm going to have to finagle with it. I also just realized that maybe I should be exploiting this pause button more. So I know now that I need to turn to my right and start swinging the sword. Okay. The volume is also too loud. Bring that down. 17. The way forward is guarded. Okay. I'm going to have to lure those monkey enemies. Oh god! Bushfire! Go. Okay. Aha! No! Oh. As soon as something good happens, I just get burned by the fire. This sucks. I don't... I'm not idling either. Like, the game thinks I'm idling. It's gonna try to punish me with the fire for doing this. This does not feel like idling. This feels like surviving by the skin of my teeth. And if the bushfire spawns in, like the phantoms in Balatro, or the phantoms in Spelunky, I mean, to like hurry you up and get you out of there, I don't really know if it works like that. Oh no, go! What am I doing? I was getting attacked from behind, so I was slamming him in the front. Okay, let's wait for the rhinoceros to go. Ah! This is not a good run. Now I got the thing that you apparently absolutely depend on to, like, yay. Alright, let's test it out. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. Oh! 6 seconds. Maybe. I wasn't quite entirely sure because I probably lost a few at the beginning of that room. So, what do we got? Maybe 7 seconds, 8 seconds of thinking time before the fire spawns in and kicks your ass? I was ready for it too. I was ready to move out of the way, and I couldn't get out of there fast enough for the fire to kick my ass. At least I'm on the high scoreboard now. Okay, but I still keep playing. Even though I am suffering, I am in pain. Not spend more than 6 seconds. Gah! We're restarting. So yeah, I've really gotten into this game. There's some kind of like obsessive reaction that got triggered in here in me. And I'm wondering if what I am experiencing, this emotional roller coaster of mostly lows that are occasionally punctuated by a high, that immediately gets hit down to a low again, that then kind of like folds into a feedback loop that you lose a lot of time and end up obsessing over something that you're not really having fun with. It's actually really frustrating, kicking your ass. If this really and truly actually is what was fun in the 80s, because tastes have changed. Highly difficult Nintendo arcade games that would kick your ass were the norm, and giving you a lot more to think about in a spatially relatable way that's like quasi-realistic has like always been something that all video games of virtually any era have tried to pull themselves towards. If this is this might be the Duke Nukem 3D to Zelda's Doom. But the like compulsiveness, the obsessive compulsiveness to the loop here, how hard I am finding to put it down, despite how angry this thing makes me, does sound a lot like what it was like playing games as a kid in the late 80s at least, and like what people wanted out of their games back then. If you ever see an old 80s movie and there's a kid playing a game, they're probably gonna slap the arcade machine or throw the controllers at some point. Being real mad apparently was part of the fun. Go, here we go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, well that way is really viable. Whew. This is the first League of Legends type game. Sounds like a gambling addiction by the way you described it. Yes, it's Skinnerian psychological principles. These are used by gambling game designers, prison economy designers, shortage ration economy rules, where if your country's being invaded by some kind of horrible war that has everyone fighting for survival and you're trading cigarettes at the commissary for toilet paper, this is the kind of psychology you want to employ. And though they will not admit it, video game design. Modern, addictive, always online, pay by the microtransactions, make your money through whales style game design use the same psychological principle as gambling and prisoners and ration economies. Oh, and animal trainers. This style of psychology works really well if you want to teach a dumb dog some cool tricks, apparently. Let me get out of here. I want to get out of here before that 6-second timer starts kicking my ass. Now I want to sneak past the rhino. Now, but one thing I want to point out, it was very cool and satisfying and fun learning that the rhino persistently runs across multiple screens so you can sneak by him to get to the other side, or her, I don't know, it could be a girl rhino. Now, was that a man? Did my counter just go up from 5 to 6? From 4 to 5, I mean. I thought it was a cactus, but it might be a man. We've all been confused by that stuff, right? Cactuses, men, they kind of look the same from a large distance. Okay, amulet piece was not there this time. Don't go back looking for it, George. Play it safe. But every single room in this game is extremely lethal. And you have 6 seconds to change rooms. And that makes me tempted to wander into danger that I shouldn't be wandering into. The yellow flower makes the enemies go away, which is usually a good thing, right? I can feel it. I can feel me getting better at this game the more I calm down and concentrate and don't talk, and I hate that. Don't you want an interesting show? I also hate how much I was complaining about how fast the fire spawns in and how unforgiving it felt. Because I was right. It spawns in after 6 seconds. But now that I actually count those 6 seconds out and keep that in mind and know that I need to change screens at least once every 6 seconds, I'm noticing that I'm doing way better. I hate this. I hate this. I'm getting better at the game and I hate it. I thought the game was bullshit, but no, it's just really, really... What do I do? Get away from my flower. Up, 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 please! what is... Yeah. No. Yep. And I'm out. Wait a second. It's wider. Look at the mouth leading from this room to the one to the south. It's wider in here than it is down here. See? Compare and contrast, kids. No, go. Oh, what the hell was I supposed to do? I was attacked by two. Ah! I got Indigenous Man to the north and a wolf to the south. I think this is technically, yeah. Can I go in? Can I go in? Please, please. Are they safe? Are they mean? I need a place to hide. How pissed off are the natives at me here? I really, really would like shelter right now. Okay, thank God. I cannot. I'm trying my darndest to position him, and he keeps wandering a pixel out of the way. But the house, it means nothing. Oh, maybe this is where Indigenous Man spawns from, and maybe you chase him back here when you hit him. Okay. That would... I want... Ah! Okay, we're done with Sabre Wulf. I really need to stop. That game, I'm getting it. If I had nothing else and I was on a deserted island, maybe in that case it would be fun. Like, there's something there. I can see it. I can get it. Am I playing a bad version, though? With some kind of cheating protection going on where... where the game's too fast and too difficult? Or am I just coddled by decades of easier difficulty? Or am I tempted, because of the Twitch streaming stuff, to talk more than I should and concentrate on the game less than I should, and also play up the frustration for the audience? I guarantee you I was feeling it, but these are all subconscious things. I might not even be aware. If I was playing this by myself with no performance pressure, would it be better? It probably would be better. So, Twitch chat, what did I miss here? Throwing the cartridge against the wall when it glitches up. That was part of the 80s gaming experience. I can't avoid comparing it to Zelda and how enemy positioning makes its own dimension of level design. Right? I think this was 1984. Zelda, was Zelda the same year? Zelda, NES. 1986. Not what I remember. Yeah. What I remember here is this Japanese release date, 1994. What? $1986. Okay, so I got my dates mixed up. And that's really bad, actually, because that means that Zelda would have learned from Sabre Wulf, as opposed to Sabre Wulf fucking up lessons learned from Zelda. Sabre Wulf came first, Zelda came second. I think the reason I remember 84 is because I think that's when the NES came out, in the US at least. Japan was a couple years before back then. On most everything. But, you cannot say they're dissimilar. There's no way that the Zelda developers didn't know someone who knew someone who played this game. The Zelda developers may not have had direct experience or direct exposure, but the DNA was in the world culture at the time for a top-down adventure where you gather treasure in a hostile wilderness environment with monsters that spawn in from thin fucking air and ambush you. But by the time Zelda was made, I guess they learned a few tricks about how to make that experience considerably less player hostile than it was here in Sabre Wulf. Now, next up on my ZX Spectrum Classics list that I assembled. Unfortunately, attack is not on that list. Hey, before I close this research window out, let's just take a look at that. Attack ZX Spectrum. Because this is a rare, right? An ultimate play the game? Oos. Yeah, an ultimate play the game. Oh man, that sound is just oh god. Turn it down and then we'll be fine. Okay, so Sabre Wulf might be some kind of spiritual successor to this. It's top-down adventure. You go from screen to screen instead of scrolling. You're collecting treasure. Oh, look at that. The dungeon doors go 4 ways, like in Zelda. I don't know if you can say Zelda ripped that off so much as it might have been a limitation at the time. The doors were placed in more diverse locations in Sabre Wulf. It still looks like this game is moving ridiculously fast, though. And that a lot of hostilities attack you as soon as you enter into a new room. It looks like our player is throwing these axes as a preliminary caution for that. In Sabre Wulf, you hold the attack button down, and even that doesn't feel like much of a layer of security. It's almost 10:30. How have I started the stream around 8:30, right? But I've been streaming for an hour and a half. How have I played that for an hour and a half and gotten like 15% through the adventure? Gosh, this looks rough. This looks really tough. I don't think the high difficulty would sting as bad if there wasn't an element of performance anxiety. Getting your ass kicked in an old hard video game is kind of an expected part of the procedure. But getting your ass kicked in front of a crowd on the internet was not. And I wonder if the like extra bile in my stomach that I was feeling from how frustrating some of the deaths were might not have been happening if I was playing it by myself. Huh. That sure is Square Zelda. Do he snack, but he also protect. The faux vector graphics must have been a hot thing still. Judging at all, these games are both chaos. Yeah. Chaos came with the territory and was pretty normal, but we're going to be playing a more popular, more fondly remembered game that still might be chaotic. It will be cryptic. But the next game I have on my list is called Skool Daze, and it's kind of spelled a little weird. We're gonna go to the worldofspectrum.net fan site and go to the archive I want, I guess. Oh boy. The 16,903 games here should have somewhere on the list Skool Daze. It's spelled funny. Yeah, here we go. Microsphere, 299 Classics, Alternative Software. Does anyone recognize those names? It's spelled deliberately misspelled. How countercultural. So gonna be a control guide. Controls. Q A O P A O P up, down, left, right. Wild. Holding cap shift with any of these makes Eric run. Alternatively, you can use the cursor keys for the same effect. Thank God. But wait, the ZX Spectrum didn't have cursor keys, so what are we gonna do there? What did the materials game came with? Here we go. This looks like a the tape insert fold out, but I gotta rotate it. How come they didn't rotate it before uploading it to the fan site? Okay, here we go. This must be the closest thing we got to a manual. Can I rotate this in Firefox, or do I have to download it and... Okay, here we go. The keys. Loading the program. Storing. Okay, so let's consider this JPEG as our manual for now. And we'll try loading a TAP file into the emulator, which does not usually work as reliable as the SCR file. All right, we also learned earlier that it is generally a good idea to turn the emulator completely off and on again when loading a new game. So we're going to launch specky.exe, then drag skooldaze.tap. What happened? All right, demo, press A key to play. I don't know if that means press the key labeled A or just press any key at all. But while the demo is playing, giving us a bit of an idea, this is interesting because it's been compared to a open world or living simulator, a kind of game with a lot of AI running around that perform their own ecosystem. There's going to be a simulated school society here, and I guess we'll cause some kind of mischief. I don't know. Now that you know all the letters of the combination, all you have to do is work out which order they go in. You know that the headmaster's letter is always first, but as for the other three, you'll just have to try the various possibilities. Find a clean backboard and write out the combination. Oh, so do you begin the game with the copy protection minigame that looks like Bart Simpson memorizing a mantra on the blackboard? Rush back to the staff room and jump up to reach the safe with your hand. If nothing happens, then the combination must be wrong, so you'd better find another clean backboard and try a different one. With the safe open, your troubles still aren't over. As the flashing shields are rather giveaway to stop them flashing, you have to and done it. Congratulations, you're now allowed, along with your friends, to move on to the next class at school. There will be reports at the end of this term. Boys shall attend. I feel like we're missing something. Okay, let's see what this one had to say. Gotta drop it in. In the role of our hero Eric, or any other name you decide to call him in the rest of the cast. Okay, we'll call him Ass. In the role of our hero Eric, which is the name I decided to call him in the rest of the cast. No, I meant to say in the role of our hero Ass, which is the name I decided to call him in the rest of the cast. You know that inside the staff room safe are kept the school reports. Being Eric, you realize you must at all costs remove your report before it comes to the attention of the headmaster. The combination to the safe consists of 4 letters, each master knowing 1 letter, and the headmaster's letter always coming first. We're notebooking this one. I should have a notebook around here somewhere. Oh, god damn it. Okay, fine. I gotta go to another room with my notebook. Notepad. I'll be right back. So we'll just say like 10 seconds. So, one thing I've noticed about these ZX Spectrum games, that's a little wacky, is that despite how limited the technology was, in so many respects, I am sorry to say, this seems more limited than the consoles and the arcades of the day. Despite the technological limits, they like to have more complicated, objective-oriented gameplay. Like in Jetpack, you don't go for a high score, you go for specific objective items that spawn in. Michael Midnight's Lords of Midnight was a complicated, objective-oriented RPG adventure. Sabre Wulf wanted us collecting various things hidden at various points throughout a maze. So did Jet Set Willy. And in Skool Daze, we're going to hit all the shields hanging on the school walls. Some of them can be hit by jumping up, others are more difficult. You could try and hit a shield by bouncing a pellet off a master's head whilst he is sitting on the ground. Okay, shields. There's like nested categories. Nested categories with sub-objectives underneath them. The first objective of them all is you want to get a safe combination. Safe combination means 4 letters which are placed behind shields. Behind shields. You have to hit them. Hit 4 shields. The headmaster's letter comes first. One, two, three, 4 blank lines on the bottom of the first. All right. Headmaster. So maybe some process of elimination is required for the other 3 to get them in order. Being Eric, you may decide to knock over one of the boys, and while he's flattened, clamber up so that you can jump higher. Okay. So all the shields are flashing wildly, disorienting the poor masters. What the fuck are they talking about? Knock them over now, and before they can stop themselves, they'll reveal their letter of the code. All except for the history master, of course, who, because of his great age and poor eyesight, can't be trusted to remember. His letter has been implanted into his mind hypnotically. To make him reveal it, you must first find out the year he was born, which, in case you're wondering, changes each game. And creep into a room before he gets there, and if the board is clean, write it on the blackboard. History teacher. So wait, how many letters are there? All the shields. Okay, so 3 of them must be hidden by shields. 1 of them is hidden by the history teacher's birth date. Birth year. Is revealed by his birth year. Must first find out the year he was born, then creep into a room before he gets there, and if the board is clean, write it on the blackboard. Write it on blackboard. Make him look at it. Make him see it when he enters. All right. That I can't say something like simple, got it, because that's not simple, but I think I got it. Okay, continuing on. I guess you would like open up the cassette tape materials after reading that on the back and then unfold a sheet of paper that had a trifold that had these 3 other pages on the other sides. Okay. Now that you know all the letters of the combination, all you have to do is work out which order they go in. You just have to try the various possibilities. Find a clean background. All right. So yeah. Trial of elimination when we do get them. Rush back to the staff room and jump up to reach the safe with your hand. If nothing happens, then the combination is wrong. With the safe open, the flashing shields are a giveaway. To stop them flashing, you gotta hit them all again. Done it. Congratulations. You're now allowed, along with your friends, to move on to the next class at school. But remember, there were the reports at the end of the term. Boys shall attend lessons as shown in the timetable at the bottom of the screen. Oh, interesting. I guess we don't see it because the demo text might be in the way, but I just did see someone get punched in the face and die. So there's a time schedule and the NPCs are going to stick to it. That is impressive. Boys do not score points by attending lessons, but may be given lines if caught in the wrong place. Boys who acquire over 10,000 lines shall be expelled immediately from the school. Boys are not allowed to enter the staff room or the headmaster's study. Take care. At playtime, boys are supposed to be playing and not in any of the classrooms. Boys shall not hit their schoolmates. Boys shall not fire catapults. Good. We wouldn't want any boys firing catapults now, would we? Boys are expected to walk quietly in the corridors. They are not for running or sitting in. School dinners are compulsory. Boys will be neat and polite at all times. Cursor keys. Now hang on a second. ZX Spectrum keyboard. How are we going to be doing these cursor keys they're talking about? Because the ZX Spectrum did not have arrow keys. So what do they mean by that? What are they trying to tell us? You guys see any directions? Okay. RT, like a left and a right cursor. OP, left and open. OP is left and right, Q and A is up and down. And that actually does make more sense than Sabre Wulf's controls, because they're positioned relative to each other in the directions that they represent. But it looks like if I want to do cursor keys, I might also be able to do number keys. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 5 is left, 8 is right. 6 is down, and 7 is up. Order is weird. I think I like QAOP better. QAP! I think I like QAP better than 5, 6, 7, 8. What else we got? Because I did see, like, shooting going on. I think there's a way you can shoot punching. If caps shift is pressed at the same time as OP, Q, or A, this will result in fast caps shift. What is caps shift? I think it's going to be shift. S for sit, H for hit, W for right, J for jump, O or F for fire. And I guess fire is the slingshot rock I'm seeing. Joysticks can be used. With a joystick, the directions and firing of the catapult are selected from the joystick, but the keyboard must still be used for the other actions. I feel like I should just rely on to emulate the historically accurate experience. If I have trouble with these keyboard controls, I'll just make a new joy-to-key profile for it, like I did with Sabre Wulf. Select the type of joystick. Yes, do you want to change name? Oh yes. Oh my god, there's 15 shields? Opening the safe after getting the combination scores a bonus, hitting the shields. Okay. Hitting the bully by punching him or with a catapult, if you dare. Alright. Oh, you can see the holes I cut out. Last page here must correspond to something. But that last page is not what's important. What's important are these controls. let me get my fingers on OPQW. QA, OP, QA, OP, S, H, W, J, and F. Weird. Oh, the cover art characters are clearly an unlicensed ripoff of British comic characters, the Bash Street Kids from Weekly Kids Comic, the Beano. Neat. Okay, never mind. Before I play the game, let's see. Oh yeah! Oh my god. Yeah, I can see it. That is pretty blatant, isn't it? Isn't it? Where did? Yeah, here we go. So these guys are a pretty blatant ripoff of some kind of cultural reference here going on with these guys. The Bash Street Kids got ripped off for the ZX Spectre Skool Daze cover art. Alright, let's go. Press a key to play. G for George. G for George. Okay, I guess that means A key. A for... Oh, nope, A did nothing. Press A key to play. Alright, Z. Z did it. Do you want to put in your own names? Yeah. Y for yeah. Yes. Yes. Y. Y. Enter. Spacebar. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nothing's doing it. Did I restart? Did we crash? What happened? Why is it not doing anything? Oh. Okay, I don't know what button I pressed, but I must have pressed the right button. Press C to change name. Enter new name. And there's some very extreme lag or something. Okay. I wonder if I press enter now? I do not want to change the names of the others. This is like Earthbound. These are cute little footstep noises. What is a SWAT? This is complicated. All of these ZX Spectrum games have been deceptively complicated. They're doing complicated PC gaming on primitive arcade game hardware. And the resulting confusion happens. I should have just said in confusion results. But it wouldn't have been confusing, and if I spend more time with it, it won't be confused. Okay, O is left. E is right. I feel extremely slow. Once again, it kind of feels like something might be wrong with the controls. No, it's not. I just gotta get used to it. There's just a little bit of deliberancy in your footsteps. We're not scrolling from screen to screen. There's an actual side-scrolling happening, but only when you get close to the edge. So, on screen though, playtime. Okay, playtime. We're not supposed to be in classrooms during playtime. Let me just get a lay of the land here. Ground floor has like a cafeteria hall in the middle and stairwells leading up. Oh, there's the shields. Jump. Hey, how do you jump? Because didn't it say that H is hit? Oh, did that make the whole screen flash? It makes the outline of the screen crack. Flash. QPA. Also, these cursor keys. Nope. Oh. 5. So these cursor keys they're talking about, 6 and 7 make me move around, but 5 made him shoot a slingshot. 4, 3 are making him move. I'm gonna stick to QOAP with QOAP. When does playtime end? Is there a timer I'm supposed to keep track of? So these shields, you like hit or shoot. Oh, what? S is sit/stand. Oh, right. J is jump. Okay, is this a bell? Mr. With It in the map room. I'll follow the herd. Map room. Oh, wait, no. I should not follow the herd. I should go up to the upper right. Okay. I think I get it. You have to... Oh my god. This is a Persona-like. I'm trying to go up the stairs. Q is... Oh, I had my fingers on the wrong button. So you have to stick to the school schedule while doing mischief side goals. Alright. Am I in the right place? Right. Sit down, my little cherubs. Where am I? Which one am I? I think I'm good. I think I'm the one on the leftmost chair, but I'm not entirely sure. Turn to page 249 of your books. Be silent and start reading. I'm 800 lines. Sit to where you should be. 400 lines. Ask. Get to where you should be. Where? What? 100 lines. Ask. Come along with me. Where am I? I thought I was where I was supposed to be. Mr. With It, map room. 100 lines. Ask. Hurry up. Oh! 200 lines. Ask. Don't try my patience. I lost track of my character. Did I? I thought I was up there, but I was actually down here. Because I kind of look like everyone else. I should restart this. But let's see if I can learn by failure. I'm going. Oh. I'm gonna get expelled. Q. I'm trying, actually. I missed it. Revision library. Okay, that was to the left. Q. Okay, no, yeah! Q is left, P is right. No, O is left, P is right. Q is go upstairs in the direction you're moving. Do I hold them down at the same time? I don't know. I'm doing it now, but I'm doing it now. Okay, go to the library now. Come on. Oh, I'm blocked. I'm blocked by the wall. Without a lot of feedback. So, do I want to press A? The stairwell detection has been an issue, and my character, like, moving on their own. Okay, A, yeah. O. Oh my god! I think... No! I'm blocked by a wall again. Maybe if I jump, I'll go faster. Oh, you can't walk and jump. Oh, wait, wasn't there a way to speed up with shift? Yeah. Oh, thank God, shift makes sense. So there is a way to run quickly. I'm pressing A and he's not going downstairs. Okay. Okay, so I have to line him up with, like, the pink squares to the stairs themselves. Yeah. So I shouldn't think of the 3D part of the stairs, just the 2D. No, I missed it. Mr. Creek, White Room. I've missed 2 classes now because I can't walk up stairs. Q is making me move left. It is not making me go up. I've tried this twice. It only worked 1 time. Okay. Now, what is... I don't think... There is no white on the screen, but maybe they're talking about this one? Okay, sit. I'm sitting. This is me. I am the sitting boy. Be quiet and seated your nasty little voice. What? Get off the floor. When was I on the floor? What the fuck am I doing so wrong? Okay. What happened in the year that I was born? Please, sir, I cannot tell a lie. It was the Battle of Balaclava. My seat might have gotten stolen, yeah. When was the Battle of Balaclava? Please, I cannot tell a lie. It was in 1854. Let me jot that down. Bye. No, get out. Okay, bye. What? Get to where you should be. It's playtime. Oh, okay. So I gotta stealth game my way. Back his turn now. Is he gonna yell at me? 1854. Can I delete the W's? Delete. Backspace. Stop writing. Stop writing. How do I turn writing mode off? It's very funny that I can write whatever I want. But how do I stop writing? Shift? W maybe? No. Jumper, leap, fire. Enter! You press the enter button. There's no feedback for that whatsoever. But we're getting there. We're understanding how the game works, and this is actually still a lot more impressive. Sabre Wulf. Getting downstairs, though. Okay. You gotta stand on the white boxes. Explosions I have known. Jump. 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 Don't hit your mates. I was not hitting any mates. You don't want me hitting the air. I was trying to figure out how you hit some of these shields. The guide did say that some of them should be easy, but I don't see a easy route. Mr. Creek reading room. What's the reading room? Is that the one with the chairs? Guess is it the bookshelves on the top or the couches on the left? That map is terrible. We'll get used to it. We'll try the couches. But at least I found out how to run quickly, so I don't can reduce the amount of yelling going on. Stop! Go. Up the stairs, not to the left! Okay, so when you go downstairs, I think there's a different sort of alignment. God, which one's the reading room? 300 lines, ass. Man, I don't know which one's the reading room. Is that something that was explained in a manual that I skimmed over? This the reading room? Press a key to play again. Okay, yes please, actually. That was a pretty bad run. Want to put in your own names, yes. Control keys. Normal, Kempston. Normal, I guess? But yeah, I'm having a very hard time controlling things, but a pretty satisfying time deciphering the game logic and what systems are going on here, and they are actually impressive. All of these NPCs are going to follow a character. They're doing it in a way that like visually makes sense. I gotta check to see if there's a map or something. Skool Daze Annual? I would like to see the rooms have labels to take away the mystery of whatever the hell, which one of these is the reading room. The map room seemed obvious enough. The white room seemed obvious enough, but okay, that might be a principal's office in the upper left. That might correctly, yeah, be a teacher's lounge with the couches on the upper left here on the mid-level. That's the white room, we learned. This, with the bookshelves, must be the library. This just looks like it could be any classic classroom. This one, to the right of it's the map room. But how do you differentiate between the classroom and the reading room? You might need to follow the teacher, because you could find them out that way. So if I can remember what these sprites look like, I can decipher the rooms that way. Which is neat. I like that. I don't like climbing stairs, but I'm liking most everything that's going on. Mr. Whacker. Okay, it kind of looks like he's holding a stick. He whacks you with the stick. That's why he's Mr. Whacker. The science teacher is Mr. Rocket. Okay, yeah, that seems decipherable as a lab coat with glasses, a nerdy glasses lab coat Simpsons scientist. The geography teacher is Mr. With It. Now what's he supposed to be? It kind of looks like a suit and a tie. He kind of looks like an 80s businessman. Is he supposed to be like a traveler who's traveled around the world and knows his geography, and he traveled around the world doing business in his younger years or something? Is that the idea? He's Mr. With It, so I guess that means he's with the times or with the cultures. He's supposed to know geography. And Mr. Creek, this will be an easy one to remember because he's a creaky old man. So maybe it's Mr. With It that I was needing to find, and I just didn't know that he's the normal looking business suit man. Everyone else looks kind of weird. And that'll make it easy. That'll make it easy to know who is who. Playtime. Now, another thing we need to do is spend what little playtime we get figuring out how to hit these shields. Can I climb on the shelves? I can sit, stand, hit right, jump or leap or fire. Yeah, what does F do? Okay, that's the slingshot. Climb up these stairs. I'm gonna be a few pixels off of... What? Oh, he saw me walk into a classroom. Okay, so that's this. Yeah, you have to be a few pixels in front of the stairs. You can't be right at them. Oh my god. The first intrusive thought that hit my head was... Okay, you know what? It's a video game. It's not real when the teacher's not looking. What happens if I hit these kids at the edge of the... Oh, no! Are they going to do anything about it? No, they're not going to do anything about it. Now I feel bad. I experimented with the game systems, and now I feel bad for it. So you cannot push the kids over the ledge of the balcony. I just testing. Oh, there's a shield completely by itself with no one guarding it. I'm trying to climb up the stairs as hard as I can. So maybe this one, it looks a little bit closer than the ones in the... Hey! What did that do? Mr. Whacker in the exam room. Okay, so this is the guy who wants to whack you with his cane. Exam room? Right, what the hell is the exam room? I gotta look for... There he is. That must be Mr. Whacker. Is he the headmaster? I'm going to follow him. I don't know what combination letter I unlocked, though. Okay, so apparently the exam room's up here. Oh, don't tell me it's the map room. Why is he going to the balcony? Now he's going back downstairs. Silence, or I'll cane the lot of ya. Okay, no. No, I did. I just got pushed out of the chair. Someone just carjacked me out of my own seat, and I got in trouble for it. What an asshole. I'm trying. Give me a minute. Okay. But yeah, this is also really impressive. What is 43 times 45? What is 89 times 89? What is 47 times 44? Quick Twitch chat, find it out. This is really important. I think it's really funny. This doesn't matter, does it? 99 times 97. They're like simulating a real shitty math course. So I want to say that another thing that's really impressive is how unconventional this is for how complicated it is. They're making a complicated objective-based exploration in an ecosystem, in an AI... Oh shit! I just saw a stone fly by and no one got in trouble for it. It's like GTA, like in terms of how you're deciphering how the cops work. Mr. With it, I'm trying. So some of the NPCs kind of feel like they have minds of their own. There are authorities who enforce their rules with comedic inconsistency. And oh, the kids are like trying to fight each other almost. Emergence. This is surprisingly emergent. Okay, so Mr. With It is a guy in a suit. Is he not here? Map room. Maybe there's no teachers in here and that's why the kids are fighting. They're going unsupervised. And I've heard that these British boys' schools are fucking awful and that kind of behavior is what they trained them for. That's what Lord of the Flies was. Oh my god, that kid just... They don't die, but they very comically immediately teleport to the horizontal edge. Okay, here's Mr. With It. Oh, I see. You have some time to sneak around if you keep your eye on the teacher. That is really interesting, actually. Okay, so one of the lessons I've learned from the ZX Spectrum games is that there's some very creative, forward-thinking game design going on for technology that's not able, trying for collision detection and frame rates, frame timing, whatever term you want to use for the concept in this era. Like it it it, it it's like the game designs demand precision, but the game engine is not going to be able to give you precision. Sabre Wulf was a highly difficult, cryptic, figure it out as you play top-down adventure with the big focus on melee combat or something like that. But wherever you were swinging the sword seemed kind of like a gamble. And whether or not you could swing the sword at something north or south of you just seemed straight impossible. You had some kind of looping animation and might need to nudge your character into the direction of bad guys if they're north and south of you based on where the animation was swinging the sword at. It looks like I'm really bad at these, and I am, but I guarantee you that one of the reasons why is because the controls of these games has felt weirdly imprecise, sometimes not really laggy because, well, there is lag, but it seems deliberate. You can get used to it, but the imprecision is something I have not gotten used to yet. I'm going to see if I can jump for these shields in what might be the principal's office in the upper left. Oh, he probably doesn't want me in there, though. This is playtime. Dun, dun, dun. No! This room is private. It's my private caning room. The games have humor, too. That is nice to see. In the 8-bit era, the stylization of everything, Einstein is going to tell Mr. Whacker what you're up to. You must stop him getting to his study this break. Press U if you understood. U for understand. What a creative verb. Okay, but one thing I kind of forgot is what Einstein looks like. So there was like a guide, a screenshot here somewhere. Einstein, oh boy, that is an extremely vague sprite art for Einstein down there. But we do know the headmaster, he's up here, so we can kind of stand guard and just wait for Einstein to come to us. If we hit him without the teacher seeing. What does Einstein look like? How do you describe... No, I don't even know if that is, but... No! Take 2,000 lines, you nasty boy. We're just a bunch of nasty boys here. Did I hit the wrong kid? She'll face the spot Einstein. How do we pick that kid out from the others? The teachers are distinguishable. But the But the kids look mostly all the same. I gotta find a chair. Trying my darndest. There we go. But I think it's very, very interesting that they give you enough time to run around and experiment with the shields. I managed to figure one out, but that had to be the easiest of the lot. Did I get thrown out? I did. I got thrown out of my chair again. Like in Grand Theft Auto, the NPCs are assholes, and so are you. Oh, wait a second. Isn't Grand Theft Auto a British game, actually? Isn't there... What? No, don't... What did I do? What did I do this time? Please, sir, I cannot tell a lie. Boy Wander wrote on the blackboard. Yeah, there might be some, if not game designer career DNA, some inspiration going on here. The idea of having an ambitious little simulated AI ecosystem that does represent a real life situation and also kind of plugs into a subversive power fantasy. Okay, now we're going to the reading room. Mr. Creek. So the old man. We want to see where the old man goes to figure out which one's the reading room. I would have guessed this was the library. Maybe he's going to move to a different room, but it looks like he's hanging out in the reading room. 700 lines, Einstein. Don't do it again. Also, I guess lines refer to what Bart Simpson was doing in the intro of The Simpsons. I love Wheelie. Is the teacher around? I want to cause some mischief. Aw. Oh, man. That is so... Did you see how the kids all calmed down when the teacher walked in? That is really impressive, actually. I'm sorry, I got carjacked. Give me a minute. I don't think there's any way I can defend against that. You just have to react. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no, one of the kids doesn't have his... What are they gonna do? There's not enough seats for everyone. I gotta keep my eye on my own character in case I'm the one that gets jacked. No, get away. Don't do it. Okay. So there's like this minigame tension happening where I'm keeping my eyes on these vague, ambiguous little sprites. Hoping that... There we go. Yeah, hoping that it's not me that they pick to wrestle out of their seat. I think I see an opportunity for a shield here. They did say that you have to get creative, like hitting a boy on the ground and climbing on top of him to touch the shields is apparently a solution, but it looks like I might have to do that for several of these shields. Alright, now fire! Oh! Okay, now how do I climb on top of him while he's down? That's fucking awful. Oh, I might not have to. These look, like they're pretty low. Yeah! And there's another one, same distance. Yeah! Don't I get, like, a number? I mean, a letter, though? I think the ones on the other floors are not as easily reachable. Give me a minute, I'm trying. So you don't want to get lines to 10,000. At that point, you game over. Yeah. Yeah, alright, now let's get out of here. I'm doing it. I'm completing objectives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've got 5 shields now. How do I turn those into numbers, though? I mean letters. Why do I keep saying that? I figured out how to climb stairs. This is good. We're making progress. Spelling is boring. This is significantly more fun than how I was handling Sabre Wulf. But I don't know if I want to confidently say whether or not Sabre Wulf is a better or worse game. It's just a matter of how well I'm learning it. Okay, maybe in this room I have to knock boys over and climb on top of them to get to the shields, but you just need to... Yeah, you just need to be able to touch them while jumping. I guess the idea is that you're doing some kind of process of elimination thing where you hit all the shields and there's 15 of them, but you only need 5 letters, so that means that not all of them are going to have them. Not paying for enough resources like chairs and still expecting everyone to have a seat is very true to British culture. Oh, dinner. Meals are compulsory. Get on top of the stair. There we go. So, descending stairs, you have to be on the little pink square. Dinner. This is the cafeteria, right? Should I be sitting? What do I... Oh. Should I be rummaging around here with the other kids who are fighting each other? Or... What is the socially acceptable behavior supposed to be? Go eat your meat. That with you. Don't come back to school till you have... Oh. Alright, we'll give it one more run. And then I'll move to the next one. Yes. I want to keep my ass man going. Or ass hero. Where did the full guide go? It is. Right. Gotta remember what the other classmates look like too. Oh my god, it's 11:15? I guess they say time flies when you're having fun, but is that what was happening tonight? Because this is almost time to wrap up the stream. Are these games just more meaty and time consuming than I was expecting them to do? Because they're a little more brainy and complicated. The bully, I see. He kind of looks like he's wearing a scarf. Jacket collar is pulled up high. He kind of looks like someone who'd be up to no good. Bully angel face. The SWAT Einstein. Okay, he kind of looks like he has a mustache. I think I can identify him by the little pixel on his coat. Little pixel on the coat is Einstein. Whacker's identifiable by the cane. Can I skip this intro, actually? Because I got it from here. Mr. Withits in the fancy suit with the cool posture. Like squiggly from liver. This one feels worse in my hands, but the game design and the game logic and the technology, even that little scrolling effect that happened, is a lot more impressive than Sabre Wulf, but it feels worse than Sabre Wulf. But Sabre Wulf felt worse to actually play, so I don't even know... Sabre Wulf had worse game feel. This one... No, Sabre Wulf... God, this one has worse game feel, but better objectives design? I guess? Better game design, but worse game feel. Yeah, that's the incredibly simple sentence I was trying to put together. I think I'd rather play this than Sabre Wulf, having you play the two for it. But I still feel compelled. Like, Sabre Wulf has given me a draw. Like, I want to go back and see what I'm missing and maybe do it in a less stressful environment. Oh, look at me climb these stairs like a pro, baby. Yeah. Sabre Wulf might be less fun to watch, but more fun to play. And this one might be less fun to watch, but more fun to play. Okay, did I get all the easy shields that you don't gotta do anything sociopathic to get? Map room. Okay, that's the whole other side. Stop. Someone's shooting rocks at me. Oh boy, I have to get in there with the bully. Maybe we should wait outside for the teacher. That's really interesting game design. Okay, this kid's been shooting rocks. Yeah, look at him. Fucking asshole. Okay, so that must be the Einstein nerd. And it's gonna be chaos in there until the teacher comes. They're punching each other. Am I gonna have to defend myself if I go further inside? Let me just walk in with the teacher. Gosh, what a hellish school. All right. Ow! Can't sit on the floor. I gotta sit in a chair. One of the other kids is gonna wrestle me out of the chair when they get a chance. Hey! I'm sorry I was shot in the face by an arrow. I'm trying! Ah! Are you, like, supposed to have a chair of your own or something? Oh, boy. Oh, the wrestling for the chairs is beginning. Revision library. What do they mean by revision? Also, how does stairs work here? Alright. At least the library is gonna be fine. Which one am I lost track of my boy. Revision of studying material you already covered. Well, it usually puts the teacher's name down there. And I doubt that the teacher is named Revision. Hey. Hey. My god, they just want to fight. Don't hit me. Ow. I got knocked down, and then I got 300 lines for being down. I guess this is where I'm supposed to be, but none of us are under teacher provision. This is like a study hall. This is chaos. They put us into a cage match with each other. Let me just get to the edge of the fighting group and shoot anyone who comes close. No, fuck, get away. Ow. Can I duck? How do you... I guess you gotta run away from the incoming rocks. Mr. Creek. Ow. Oh! In the right... Ow. Ah. This is insane. What is the right room? What did I do that time? I'm gonna follow Mr. Creek for a little while to figure out which one is the right room. Oh, white room, not right room. Duh. Yes, wrote on the blackboard. No, I didn't. Ow. It's just got falsely accused. Ah, God. I have to write down another 1800. Another 1800s birth here. The Battle of Sedgemoor. They didn't have Wikipedia in 1986. You weren't supposed to Wikipedia that. Which battle occurred in 1571? 1571. Okay, now that no one else is in here, I'm gonna write 15. Right. Right with W. 1574. Enter. Alright, good. I'm no longer writing anymore, but I did have to press W quite a few times, as you can see, for it to register. Okay, playtime. I guess that means do sociopathic stuff like knock boys on the ground and climb on top of their corpses to reach the decoration on the wall. Yeah. Get one of these guys to come down here and... Ah, no. Ah! How do you defend against that? How come they didn't get in trouble for doing it to me? That hit just did not work. What's happening with the collision detection? Hit, hit. Hit, hit. It's worked in the past. They're not even standing on the right positions, but I'm trying to experiment with how the systems work. Oh, there, I got one. Okay, now jump. Jump again. Nope. Oh, huh? Oh, that's the headmaster. I don't want to experiment in front of him. Haven't mastered head enough. Okay. Fire. Creek meeting room. So that's the one to the right of the library, correct? There's an element of getting blamed for stuff you didn't do, and also getting blamed for stuff you just happened to be near. So, when did the first Grand Theft Auto come out? Was it like 2000 and 0? No. Grand Theft Auto 3 was like 2002, so they weren't making one of them. It might have been 99. Good 15 years after this. So this is what GTA concepts look like 15 years before the PlayStation 1 technology is around. 97, okay. And this was 84, so 13 years. Man, we live in some pretty depressing times because 13 years, computer technology has not changed nearly as much in the past 13 years we've just lived through as it did back then. I can't believe that people were not driven insane by how fast media and technology was changing back then, but people are being driven insane by it now. I think the big difference might be an economical explanation, where people had better jobs and were living better lives back then. It was an exponential growth. There might not have been the associated ridiculous decrease in like basic literacy skills and mistrust of institutions that have caused, oh shit, I'm going the wrong way, such constructive cognitive dissonance to be associated with rapid cultural change. But in the 80s and the 90s, we were living through rapid technological change. It is utterly ridiculous by comparison to how the technology has changed now. And yet people still had their heads together and weren't going crazy from it. Maybe they were driven insane back then and we can only see the lagging now. The education system will definitely bring back faith in institutions. Oh, now I'm getting blamed for violence. He might be right, though. I totally remember hitting some kid and getting away with it a while ago when I was experimenting with how the physics work. Someone erased my year, though. Okay, so you gotta follow the teacher, the old Mr. Creaky, around and write it on... Can you write it on any blackboard he's about to walk into? Okay, now it's playtime, and that means knocking kids over and climbing on top of their corpses. But first, to do that, you have to go downstairs, which is a whole verb of... Let's do it to this kid, this asshole. I won't feel bad about experimenting on this kid. Oh shit, he just knocked down the young cool teacher, Mr. With It. Ah! He did it first. Alright, I'm about to hit 10,000 here. Okay, the teacher's got his back turned. Haha, fuck you. Alright, now I want to jump on... No. God, he got away. But yeah, I don't understand how, like, jumping on top of things works in this system. Okay, I see now. You get some leverage. But your positioning really does have to be pixel perfect, so that means waiting underneath these shields for kids to come over, knocking them down, jumping on top of the kid, then jumping to reach the shield. How do we... Oh, maybe we shoot it from the elevated vantage points of the stairs, maybe? Fuck you, kid. I missed it. Okay, now fire. Ah! It went through the wall. Why was I expecting collision detection? Okay, we just found a new way to get shields. Red sun over playing time. Dinner. Oh, good. Okay, so I screwed this up last time. I did not understand how dinner works. This is obvious. Uh-oh. An obviously cafeteria, but it is a chaos zone of misbehavior. And they punish you if you're on the floor. Okay. So do we just stand here? The kids are walking back and forth. Do we walk back and forth here? Cafeteria is a PvP-enabled zone. That's what it felt like. Oh, you know the real PvP zone when you're in school, though, is the school bus. This hit me especially hard from the transition of elementary school to medieval school. Medieval school, middle school. Oh my god, that was almost a linguistic joke, because medieval kind of means middle. That's why they're called the Middle Ages. It's between ancient and modern. When it was time to ride the bus, there was a line on the ground where authority and order and coherency... Ah! Okay, now I'm expelled. They're going to expel me because I got bullied. Someone shot me in the face with a slingshot at the cafeteria table. And now the headmaster is going to come over here and expel me and end the stream. Yeah, it's 11:30. There was a line in the ground where a territorial political entity had certain rules enforced that were not enforced past the line in the ground. And that was when you would walk into the parking lot to get on the school bus. The certain line, which would move by a few inches every day, the kids could say whatever they want, they could do whatever they want, they could hit each other, or kiss each other, and the teachers couldn't do anything about it. If you were on the school bus, anarchy reigned. I remember staying far away from the pockets of anarchy and reading Lord of the Rings instead. The closer you were to the bus driver, the less anarchy there tended to be. But the further you were to the back of the bus, the more anarchy intensified. And I do not think I can say out loud with a good conscience some of the shit those kids would get up to and get away with no enforcement, no government. Because the bus driver was not a government. The bus driver was merely a UN peacekeeper in the middle of a failed state. Like, they would have a little entourage of kids who were behaving better around them, but there's nothing they could do to actually formally enforce all the incredibly shitty behavior that was the norm every single day for like 10 years. Platinum Games school bus sitting in the corner reading Lord of the Flies. Anarchy Reigns by the Hobbesian State of Nature school bus. You would, yeah, I guess this is what it would be like driving from France to the Balkans. Some line in the ground would be crossed, and it would move a bit every single day, and past that line there was no government, no rules, no institution, and just the worst aspects of human nature were set free to be the de facto rule of the day. Terror was the rule of the day. It was the law of the jungle. The big, strong kids got what they want, and the weak just had to accept that as how things work. It honestly sounds like a game premise, maybe for the ZX Spectrum. I feel like that's what this game is emulating. Like, this game was definitely made by adults with memories of what that system was like, and it's depicting it comically, because as soon as the teacher walks in, the AI starts behaving themselves, and as soon as the teacher turns their back, all of a sudden they're shooting each other and hitting each other. Sir, there are many other countries between France and the Balkans. Napoleon would disagree. But at some point in that journey, you would cross a line where it would be extremely visible that the government is not as stable at some point. France borders Italy at some point, right? And Italy borders several of the Balkans, right? A couple? I don't know, I might actually be thinking of it wrong. Italy borders Croatia, and Croatia is a Balkan, right? Right? The expressions, the wall, the Alps first. This was fun. Of the two games I played, god damn, last stream I got to play 3. But this stream was just 2, and both of them are interesting. Sabre Wulf really pissed me off last time because I couldn't get the controls working. And then once I got the controls working, the game started pissing me off again. But the more I think about it, the more, like, maybe it shouldn't have. That's just the natural default you expect from those games. And in those days, in that media environment, you wouldn't be conditioned to just look up the solution real fast. You would figure it out with trial and error. But one thing that I noticed I did that you would have done in 1984 is count out the seconds. And once I realized that the fire spawns in 6 seconds, that realigned the whole rest of the experience in a way that was a lot more manageable. So long as you made a big move every 6 seconds, it wouldn't be safe, but you would at least have a better understanding of how that game works. In Skool Daze, this is a game that is extremely interesting in its premise and its design. Very impressive with the technology that got pulled off at the time. It does not feel good to play. All of my frustrations with the game are related to the character not doing what I want him to do because he's not aligned on a pixel-perfect grid that you needed him to be aligned at. Figuring out the game logic was not nearly as frustrating as it was with Sabre Wulf, but they are both operating on similarly cryptic principles. This one has a lot more documentation to help you figure it out, but you still are supposed to fail over and over again and die a gazillion times before finally learning how to play the whole game in 20 minutes. The game adapted to you. Italy borders Slovenia. Is that a Balkan? Did I get Slovenia and Slovakia confused? No, I thought it was Croatia. Not gonna lie, when you said Skool Daze the first time, I thought this was the Japanese horror game. There's a Japanese horror game called Skool Daze? What is this? Let's find out. The last thing I do on the stream tonight will be finding out what the... No results. DuckDuckGo doesn't got it. Skool Daze. Let's take away the quotes. Yakyosho? This is a British horror game. Not good for stream. Yakyosho does not look like a Japanese game. It looks like a Westerner imitating Japanese games. Terror, I don't think this is what you were thinking of. A simple Japanese horror game with horrible creatures, not very complex puzzles, and an unwelcome atmosphere. Have sweet nightmares. Oh yeah, the developer is Carlos Julian Lopez Garcia. How many things are named Skool Daze? Scary School Simulator 2? Because it looks like Skool Daze with this particularly styled spelling is just unique to the Spectrum game. Oh, look at this. This version of the artwork is not blatantly ripped off of the pre-existing media. Also, both versions of the artwork don't really look anything like the game itself, besides the black and yellow color scheme going on. Skool Daze is a Japanese... Oh, it's spelled formerly like a normal Skool Daze spelling. A Japanese slice of life eroge visual novel game developed by Overflow, released in April 2005 for Windows. It was later remade as a DVD. Someone posted a link and it got censored out. I don't think we need to know what the Japanese 2005 Eroge game is, and I know how to say it properly. I'm just not gonna, because I'm sure we've seen plenty of that over many nights of our lives. What we have not seen very often is the ZX game, the ZX Spectrum Classics. It is a DVD, right? It was just a Wikipedia link. Sure it was. Should I keep going with this next week, or should I play some demos? There's some Steam demos I want to be checking out made by friends of mine who I owe it to them to play these demos and give them some feedback. Quick Twitch chat vote right now. We have 2 minutes. Maybe I should run P while these votes come in. Should I keep playing ZX Spectrum Classics? There's still a few, some good ones that we didn't get to. Like Exelon. That was a big part of the book. Should I play more ZX Spectrum Classics? Or should I... Yeah. Hello, it's Eddie. Or should I play some modern indie game demos by friends of mine? The Penguin Colony game by Tally, and the Tanuki Japanese... Speaking of Japanese games that aren't made by Japanese people, the Tanuki Delivery game made by... I guess he doesn't count, because Japan isn't really a melting pot like America. By a British expat living in Japan, who very much is still subjective to laws that make... Even if you're successful and have a job, you are a second-class citizen if that's your position in Japan. By a foreigner living in Japan, Tanuki, Pawn Summer. No interest for text adventure games? There's interest. I don't think I'll play them on Twitch, Joe. Twitch, though. Good to help friends. I got some demos that I want to go through, too, so that's my vote. We got 2 votes for demos. Vote for indie games. Oh, man. I get no love for the Specky, huh? I mean, we had fun for 2 weeks, but I think I find this more engaging than the typical. Because these games require work to get going, they require work to understand, and the judgments that I come to are really interesting. They're complicated judgments that kind of crisscross how I'm feeling right now versus how I would have expected to feel if I was a child almost 40 years ago playing these games. I hate sums. I hate schools. I feel like because of that extra layer of work, just about any kind of conclusion you reach is a little more interesting because of the extra work it represented to get there. Like type 2 fun. But I don't know if I'll conclusively decide just yet. Maybe I'll do some polling in some other ways to make my instincts and my preferences sound more like they're normal people's. But I will keep this in mind as the week goes on, that 2 of the 26 people viewing, about 5% of the audience, has voted for indie games over retro games. And what does this say about us as a society, as a people, as a culture? Oh, now we got 3.